a silver Sarah, you taste the crown. You thirst for blood from the roses in hand.
We met online on Grindr.
As they crown you queen of high school land.
We actually did meet though online, sort of, because a mutual friend of ours, Stephen Augusto, told Ryan that I would sing his music well and me that I would love his work, and so he set us up. I remember we like Facebook chatted back when that was a thing.
Oh my god, that's so real.
Yeah.
That's real.
And then I went to your apartment and I listened to your music and I really loved it.
The first time we performed together was at that concert. I think it was May 4th, May 5th, 2009.
Oh
Fateful
my
day.
gosh.
I remember it. It was my very first Jasper concert.
It
and
was?
It was. That was the very first
Oh,
time.
I feel like so much more
Yeah.
special. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the first time. It was the first time.
Mazel.
It was the start of everything.
It really was.
It was. What you sang to Little Lake?
I
That was
sang
like
to
your.
Little Lake.
That was your. Big
I did
song.
all the Darling stuff.
You did all the drums.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite story about Lindsay is that Lindsay was doing Nick Blemeyer's A Little More Alive in Kansas City, and she broke her foot.
I
Ankle.
didn't break it, but I
Massively injured.
severely sprained it.
My husband Matt Murphy and I were getting married that weekend, and we all went to Cold Spring right after. We went to Cold Spring in upstate, and I promised the wedding party that it would be a very chill hike, and because I was like, it's like medium, it's just like a hike. And she had like a sprained / broken ankle that she had like that had like ruined her life, and she was such a trooper. She was such a trooper. Like it was on her face that she was like not having it, but she like crutched up this like mountain, and I was like this is true love.
What I love most about our collaboration as writer and actors, I feel there's a ton of trust between us, where Ryan writes with me in mind, and then when I get the material, I really feel like I have the freedom to kind of put my stamp on it, which then he is free to like take and put into his work more, and I'm like proud that anything we've worked on together, he then releases out into the world, and then other people, you know, can make what they want to of it. But I think not every writer is that free with an actor to let them have that much flexibility. And that's why I want to do theater, is to collaborate and make something together. I don't come home and write music or write lyrics, but I feel like do have a lot to input once something's down on paper.
Yeah, I definitely think that for a writer, 50% of it is the creation of the material, and then 50% of it is the performer's touch. I think 95% of the time I'm like, absolutely, this, you know, it's inspiring.
Ah!
Easy.
One of the craziest experiences I think of either of our lives ever.
We went to the Kennedy Center, and it was you and me and Alex Brightman and Jay Johnson, and we did this concert, and a blizzard struck. Like the days before the concert, like barely got there.
Yeah. And then like held out while we drove there, but then hit again that night while we were performing.
And no one came. Like
nobody came. Literally every time we finished a song, it's like
especially doing Song of the Dead Fairy, which is like there's a clapping section, and no one is there.
Except you in the background
Right,
by yourself.
Exactly, no one
It's
came.
so lame.
Oh, and then the next morning, we call a car. To pick us all up, you and me.
To take us to the Amtrak station.
To the Amtrak station, and then like we're like all waiting there with our luggage in like 3 feet of snow, all of us. And then I call the company, and she goes, "Ain't nobody coming to pick you up, honey." And we're just like, okay.
So we literally walked. I mean, you know when your parents are like, when I was young,
Yeah,
we walked 2 miles barefoot through the snow. No, we actually did do that.
Actually, yeah.
And Jay Johnson, the best man ever, carried, because of course I'm a woman, so I bring a lot of luggage. He carried my suitcase over his head the entire way.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, I had laryngitis.
You
like,
did.
legit.
You did.
Had pneumonia by the time I got home.
It was
because we
hard.
were soaking wet all the way home.
Yes.
It was the worst, but /memories.
Memories.
Yeah. I guess would be the Ballad of Sarah Berry. Brian Loudermilk always says that when he watches that song, he feels like he's being clicked into a ride, and you know how like it's like click, 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 and then like by the time it gets to the end, it's like ah! And he always says that, and I think that's so real because that song is just, it's so exciting, and I love doing that.
I would say my favorite is Map of Scars. I just thought you brought so much incredible personal experience to it, and it was just really, it was very emotional and very sweet, and I really, it was very powerful.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I always do Hand in Hand.
it's a great song that I wrote.
Thank you so much for writing that for me.
That's right, I did.
I know what my dream project is.
Oh, what is it?
Well, have any of you ever seen that movie Muriel's Wedding?
Do you think they're gonna respond?
Have you seen? Have you?
It's like Blue's
Me
Clues.
too.
Blue's Clues.
Well, I'm obsessed with it. I think it's such a good film, and I think it would be such a good musical, and I think you would write it so well, and I would love to star in it. I would want to work with animals.
What kind of animals?
Like cats and dogs. Like I would like to work at a shelter.
Sweet.
Yeah, I really love animals.
I think that I want to be an agent because I want to call up my client and be like, "What the bleep are you doing with your life today?"
I would hate for you to be my agent. Your job is not to ask me what I'm doing. Your job is to get other people to be interested in me.
I thought my job would be to tell you what you're doing.
Well, that is your job normally.
Oh, that's true. Somebody kind of.
You want a song that you can knock out of the park every time, no matter what, sick, well, bad day, good day. From an acting standpoint, you just want something that feels authentic to you, that feels natural, that is a fun story that you enjoy telling. I don't think you should pick some sad kill yourself song. It's just no one wants to watch that. You want to bring your sunshine into the room.
Especially on that first audition.
Absolutely.
And you want to bring your specific brand of talent in the medium part of your voice that gets just to the top but not too far.
Much.
It doesn't show too much because it's that first audition. You have to have room to show your highest throat note. I mean, you want to just
with control.
Go in with control and restrain and still demonstrate the meat of your skill. Absolutely. So Lindsay, what's our business called?
Oh, our business is called Actor Therapy.
Yeah. It's a business we started to help performers of all ages. That some of them have just moved to the city or just finished college, or some of them are still in college, and they're looking for guidance about how to navigate this very treacherous world of musical theater.
We primarily work on audition technique and getting your book together, but we also just kind of shrink their heads about how to actually be a functioning human being in this city while also trying to be an actor. It's been really awesome and a really a big community that I'm really proud of.
There's so many factors that go on in the audition room that can compromise a student's skill. The song is so important. The right song is so important, but even with the right song, you go in and you're in the wrong headspace, and that thing that's been happening to you in your personal life suddenly creeps in, and you choke on the high note, and you walk out of the room and you just go, what am I doing with my life? And I don't feel good, and what's happening? And we want to sort of approach the student from every single side.
Good talk.
Good talk.